It is here, the Avengers box set, Infinity War and Endgame soundtracks on vinyl. Let's get right into it. Welcome to this very special edition of Popcorn and Vinyl. This is the channel dedicated to films, film score, and vinyl. And on today's episode, we're going to be doing a very rare unboxing. And I say that because it's not something that I'm regularly going to be featuring on the channel. Personally, I don't really like unboxing videos. Oftentimes you have people kind of feigning enthusiasm, making dumb faces, and some of the videos are pretty cringy to watch, and it's not my cup of tea. But this one, it's such an anticipated album, and a lot of people have been waiting for it a long time. I wanted to take a look at it, and people are still waiting to get it right now. So I thought, I've seen a couple of phone pictures of what it looks like, and I thought we could kind of get a better look at what you might be expecting in the next couple of days in the mail. So here we are, a nice box by Mondo. And it's, nice thick packaging, so that makes me think it's extremely well packaged, or it's a very thick box set. Either one of those, I'm very excited. Now, before jumping right into opening it up, I just want to talk a little bit about the release itself, which was announced in April and went on pre-order. And during that time, it sold out within about 48 hours. I heard some chatter that, like other Mondo box sets, this would likely, once it's sold out, it's not going to be pressed again. So these are going to be pretty limited. You don't really have the chance to buy it again except on the resale market, which already the next day after it being sold out, it was listed on eBay for extortionist prices. So if you don't have one, it's going to be pretty tough to get for a reasonable price. But for those that are true fans and still want to get their hands on it, they will pay. As the great late Mr. Gennaro said, people will pay. So I was excited that I was able to snag one before they all sold out. So let's get right into it. Now, one of the frustrating things about it being so limited is how quickly it can sell out. So if you're not aware of it, it could be gone before you even know. Okay, so a little bit of padding, cardboard layer, invoice, and there we are. Oh, wow. All right. So it's got like dust on it. I think that must be, I don't know if that's the cardboard or, I don't know if they're doing some construction over at Mondo, but it kind of dusty, so it needs to have a nice cleaning. So there we are. Quite a box set. It's nice and thick too. It's thicker than I thought it would be. I was kind of expecting similar to the Lost soundtrack. And if you just look for kind of comparison, there's sort of the thickness. It is double the amount of records, but that is good. That is one heck of a nice box set. So on the back here, we've got the Infinity Gauntlet, and that looks quite nice. Yeah, and on the sides there, who knows which way that you will actually display yours. But already a good start. Now, I will say one thing I do appreciate about the Mondo shipping always is the boxes and how it's packaged. That is nice, and that is important for a record collector. I have ordered, really, I think if you're into this hobby, you primarily have to get your records off of the internet. It's hard to go, a lot of record stores don't really have, this caliber of record available, or the kind, suitable to our genre. You're gonna find like Guardians of the Galaxy, Grease and Pulp Fiction. Something like this you're rarely going to find in a local record store just because there's not as much demand for it. So I think all of us have to kind of rely on internet shipping, and depending on if you've had maybe some horror stories, I've had to send back I think 2 or 3 Amazon records that just kind of weren't acceptable, especially for the amount that was paid. I couldn't justify keeping them for the damage that was there. So like with Mondo, I have never had an issue with anything arriving damaged or anything like that. The packaging is superb, so that's always something to look forward to. All right, so I'm gonna gently make a little incision here. Try and do this want to damage this. I saw a video someone posted of how to like actually open these properly. There's like there's a method where you just kind of like tear, but I haven't been able to master that. Okay, let's take off the plastic. This is okay. There we are, and it has a nice kind of matte feeling to it. It's not as sort of vibrant as I would expect, but still very nice. And then I don't know if there's like an issue with, there's like a little line that goes across here, and I'm not sure if that's the actual artwork itself or just kind of an issue with the printing, but the rest looks pretty good. And even like the case itself feels fairly sturdy. Some people, I think on the Hellraiser soundtrack, talked about the box set not being very good quality, so hopefully that is not the case for this. It seems pretty good. Ooh, let's slide that out. Okay, and here we go. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is, man, what, you know, that's real schoolgirl giddiness to get this. You know, the artwork on this is unbelievable. I mentioned in my Jaws video, a lot of with Mondo's artwork, it's kind of you love it or you hate it, and there's some that are kind of in between, but this, yeah, the original artwork by Matt Taylor here is absolutely stunning. It works so well for this particular genre. You know, it's bright and colorful and cartoony, but still like has a sophisticated look to it, like not cartoony in a bad way. So just between the two, those covers are absolutely stunning. And I believe this is based off a separate poster design that he did. And one thing that's so impressive about this artwork is, you know, similarly to the films and how they have to manage so many characters, even in the artwork itself, it's managed so effectively. You know, you get everybody represented really nicely. You know, this is something that is very hard to do in the movie and with the artwork, and I think it was done exceptionally well. All right, having a look at the back here, so like this little corner piece. So I guess this is the 191st edition pressing by Mondo. And I always like, they always have like kind of a cool touch of how they incorporate their logo into the artwork depending on the franchise. And that's got a nice little comic book feel to it. You know, we get a nice layout of the track listings and then your classic, you know, movie credits here. But really nice back here. And then we get the gate. Okay. So it it does come with these things. So I think this is called an obi. I know there's so these often come you know, at the side of a record when it's packaged up, and people really seem to be into these. For me, it's not a huge appeal, and I think I've actually thrown away a bunch of the older ones. I've started keeping them now after I've seen that people keep them. But you know, here we have music by Alan Silvestri, original artwork by Matt Taylor. Available now from Mondo. Sometimes they give little hints as to what's coming soon on these things, so nothing new, just kind of what is available now. But that's nice, so I'll add those to the collection of the others. And it looks like there's kind of two, you can go kind of either way of taking the record out. Let's see if there's any kind of inserts, and yes, we do. Again, a nice, beautiful piece of artwork here. And with some, you know, credits and thank yous. So nothing crazy. That as its own piece, like you could probably frame this, and that's a nice piece of artwork that really looks great. And again, nice and vibrant, colorful. So it looks like there's just the one record there. Oh, it's like a tri-fold. I see. Okay. Oh man. So damn. I don't even know. That's probably not even fitting in the frame, but that is a hell of a piece. Wow. Man, that artwork, that is unbelievable. Anything below? So I'm gonna save the records for last here, and I don't see any other kind of insert. And actually, looks like the artwork goes all the way through. I wonder if it'll go. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, it almost looks like it goes underneath, and I don't want to dare break it like the Fight Club soundtrack, but that's kind of cool how it goes underneath. Okay, so here we have Infinity War. So that is a beautiful, man, beautiful piece of art right there. Okay, and here we have Endgame, again with the same styling. Checking out the back, okay, we're getting a blue color profile. We've got a little Iron Man logo there for Mondo number 192, and we're seeing kind of the same thing. That looks great, and then let's open up this, what we now know is a tri-fold. Ooh. Okay, and here we have Thanos against Iron Man. So that's interesting because I thought I saw a picture of Cap as an old fella. Okay, so we have another little insert here with some messages from the directors of the film, the Russo brothers. So there's the record, but I could have sworn I saw a piece online where it had, oh, never mind. Here it is. I just thought this was particularly, this jumped out at me. Like, that's such an iconic image from the film, and that's a nice little dedication to Stan Lee. So that's really cool. I actually got the chance to meet and work with Stan Lee on something. So that was a real big moment in my life, and you know, he brought so much to us with his creative vision. That's a really nice dedication. So there we are, and we have our purple OB. Okay, available now, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Marvel Avengers Infinity War. So that's interesting. It references the other soundtrack. And if you did miss out on the entire box set, you can, I think they're still available online, but you can buy individually the soundtracks on black vinyl. So you can buy them each, and they're $45 each. So maybe you like one more than the other and you don't want the whole set, or you prefer the black vinyl over the colored. That's a good option, and it's definitely going to be more affordable, let's say, even in the resale market, but I think they are still available. So do check out Mondo's site if you are, if you know you've missed out on this box set. You can still get something because, man, these are gorgeous. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at the records now, and part of the reason, even for making this video, is seeing people's photos of the records pop up, and a little concerned actually when I saw them. And I know some of the issue is, you know, people's potato quality phones, you can't get a true representation of the records. But the issue is the records that people are unboxing or showing look very different than the original images shown on the website and in all the press and all that kind of thing. So let's have a gander and see how that compares to what we're getting. Kind of bump this over a little bit. So we have our first one. Okay, yeah. So that is displaying the issue that I have seen. Let's knock off some of this dust here. So yeah, there we have, even so, again, some of the pictures people have are like on a black background, so you can't see it very well. Very different than what was advertised, and you could kind of see in the little blobs here. Really, those are like the PVC pellets that are put. And where this is very different than what was advertised is it's basically a translucent record with like a color splatter, but it's not even a splatter. It looks it's very just messy, and it looks like it was done incorrectly. Okay, let's take a look at another one. And from all the examples that I've seen, the red one looked the worst. I should probably call them by the proper stones. Okay. Here we have, okay, got our So, blue record. Man, not as bad as the green. There's less of like the dots of that pellet, and it's spread out a little bit more. But that schoolgirl giddiness is fading away a little bit, and it's probably less shocking because I've seen other people's examples so far. If I hadn't seen those, I probably would be a little bit more upset right now. And okay, yep. Here we have this one. Yeah, and again, more of the sort of individual pellets. What I don't like is this doesn't look like a stone. It looks like droplets of, this kind of looks like when you're going through a car wash and they put the little colored drops of soap on your windshield. That's what I'm seeing. I don't see infinity stone. Okay, so that is, box these up, and we'll have I'll get some like better shots of those also to add over top, just so you can see them a little nicer. There, I'll box this up a little bit nicer after we're done here. Whew, so beautiful artwork, but the records, man. What a... Did I miss something there? Oh yeah, and then nice little Thanos image. Oh. Okay, this one is probably the worst one, and there's a little piece of the label ripped off, and it's right on the disc. This is like not acceptable quality control for a record. Like if they press this as is, this one should have been scrapped. And like the labels, like they're not, the labels in this process, they're not like glued on, they are pressed right into the record. So this, man, that is brutal. Awful. My like energy has died down so much. Okay, so this is one of the best looking ones here. Again, doesn't look like an infinity stone, but one of the better looking ones. Like against white light, actually, it looks kind of cool. Oops. And that's how we're looking there. At least the label's on that one. And oh, we got the red one last. That's the one that's looked worse. Oh, like this almost looks like they were going for like a blood splatter effect or something like that. Like it just is not well done. Or not that it's not well done, it's just not what was represented. And there's a little flake of paper there. Trying to handle these properly while going through them thoroughly. Man. I'm exhaling a lot in this video, more than others. Okay. That's what we have. So to me, this is probably the worst pressing that I've seen in comparison to what was, I don't want to say promised, but what was shown. So when they put it on pre-order, they showed some, what people are saying now, they are renderings of what it should look like. So what we got is very different than what they advertised. And so I've been part of numerous discussions based on this, because it's been like 3 days since people have started to receive them. And there's a lot of people that are frustrated, and a number of people are saying, like, who cares? A, it looks better, or they like it better than the original. B, they're saying, they were just mock-ups, so you shouldn't expect exactly what they showed. And I strongly disagree with that point, because if you're going to be selling a product, it should be pretty close to the original. Like, I understand there's variation from one record to another. It's not going to be exactly the same, but this is significantly different than what was advertised. It's way off, and a whole bunch of people are frustrated already. And again, like, there's some people that will just dismiss it, and I will fully admit, like, this is the ultimate, like, first world problem issue. Like, it's a damn record. You should focus on what it sounds like. But for a lot of people, when they get these kind of editions, particularly when it's some kind of, like, interesting color variant, that's a very important purchase. It's a decision-making factor for a lot of people when they are buying this. Maybe somebody would instead get the black variant. Or other people are arguing, like, oh, you're lucky that you got a copy. Yeah, we were the ones that jumped on it and got right away, but at the same time, this was $90. This was $15 to ship, and another $25 in, like, duties and taxes. So for 6 records, for 2 albums essentially, in over $100, it's really not okay that it looks like this and is so far away from that original one. Now, Mondo does try to cover themselves a little bit. Buried, by the way, in their frequently asked questions, they do have a statement as to how some of these records may look different than what is shown on the website. So they state, due to the handcrafted nature of manufacturing vinyl, it is important to note that the colors and effects can vary across the entire pressing. Because of this, it is possible that the discs you receive may not exactly match the discs on our site. So I'd be very curious to see if there are people that do get discs that look closer to the original image. And I'm thinking no, because of one major thing. They changed the photos on the website after the fact. And that also is a big red flag of not okay. When they are advertising the product to sell, maybe at that point, that's where you put something about, this is a mock-up. And some people may not even know that that's a mock-up. They may be fully expecting to get that version. And when they got this, like, they didn't realize it was a mock-up and that it could look different. So not only did they just change the photos, they didn't mention anything. They didn't put a disclaimer on the page itself saying, oh, hey, we changed the images based on the actual batch that was produced. This is how they all ended up in reality. But they didn't do that. They just hit it. And the weird part of that is, because it's done after the fact and they're sold out, why did they change the image? So that image is pretty much only for people who already bought it and would be looking back at the catalog, or maybe they're seeing, what they purchased to confirm that it's kind of the same edition, or people after the fact are looking at, like, what Mondo has pressed in the past. So to me, that wasn't okay that they just switched the image without even saying, like, this is an update. All right, it looks like I got cut off in my rant because I went much longer than I thought, and my camera stops after 30 minutes. I think where it kind of cut off is where it was talking about Mondo changing the photos after the fact. And I actually looked back at some comments, because there was some discussion in a Facebook group about this. One of the Mondo reps actually mentioned that after a record is actually produced, they always update. That's kind of the standard practice. They always update the images with what it actually looks like. So that is fair. I don't think a lot of people were aware of that practice. So having known that, people will, may approach their purchases different, and just again may be able to gauge their expectations differently in the future. I think it all kind of comes down to communication and just people knowing what to expect. If they put a disclaimer on the website, when they did send out an email saying that the shipment was delayed but it's on its way, that would be a great time to say, like, oh, hey, they don't look quite like what we originally thought. Here's the actual look. I think that would have just soothed some folks' anger. And again, just it's about expectations and people knowing what is coming. At the end of the day, it's just some colored plastic that we play music on. And As long as the record sounds good, of course, that's the most important part. But because of the physicality of the medium, just with vinyl in general, like all the details matter. Somebody's like gear, the way they listen, the artwork, the album, how it's packaged, all that stuff for a lot of vinyl collectors, that is really important, and it's part of the process for them. It's a physical medium. They like to feel and touch. They like to see the records. Colored records, any special effect records, people like them for the way they look, and they may buy it solely based on that. So I think just that living up to what people expected, it's an important part of that purchase. At the end of the day, people should still really enjoy this pressing. It's a beautiful piece. The artwork is stunning. It's a cool box set, and we got something that is not available anymore. Like it's the only way you're going to be able to get this is at extortionist prices from resellers. So I think we could take this with a grain of salt as well. And for me, like I'm going to give this a chance to let it sink in right away. Like I just got it and opened it. It's not what I expected, but I'm sure this will grow on me. Like it's still a nice looking record. I'm a little concerned about like the quality control and like the record label. Like I don't think that should have made it, but the other ones, like I'm sure are okay, and as long as they sound good, I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. I think it's important that this feedback is taken from people and it's incorporated into their process with how these things are marketed or just communicated, just so we can gauge or manage expectations for people. I know for myself going forward, I will definitely just assume it's not going to look necessarily like that, which, knock on wood, so far, like all my Mondo pressings have been phenomenal. Like I have so many that I'll be reviewing in the future that I'm absolutely thrilled with. And like I'm actually worried that my channel is just going to seem like a big Mondo love fest in general, because like they nail it almost every time. Like their work is phenomenal. So just this is just a little bit of a bruise on an otherwise flawless kind of record that I have with the stuff that I've gotten from them. So I'm still delighted to have this. I'm going to be listening to it extensively over the next few days, and I'm going to be doing a full-on review of it. So I look forward to sharing that with you as well. Thanks very much for watching this video. It is a little bit different than other ones that I'm going to be doing, and it ended up being much longer than I thought it would. So if you're still here, thanks for sticking around and listening to the rant. Please do subscribe to the channel to see other videos like this. Give it a like, that would help me out, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Were you frustrated or disappointed by this particular pressing and it not meeting your expectations? Or for you, you don't really care, and as long as it sounds good, that's kind of all that matters, and perhaps people like me are blowing this way out of proportion. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.